Here we have our red Protoss player from the team MVP making a name for himself in the GSL. Is he going to get another win? He is.
MVP Tails.
MVP Tails.
So we saw his PvP last game, and now we'll get to see his PvZ. Another very cool thing about the Team League. You get to see a lot of different matchups for each player. And speaking of Zerg, here is our Zerg player from the team, Prime. He's a new face on the block. He is.
Boom boom Prime Wee.
Boom, boom.
Boom boom. The new kid on the block. So there he is. And they have spawned in cross positions on Metalopolis. Now, a lot of Zergs like to go for that speedling opening. And that...
Apparently,
Bolt likes that one.
Bolt likes the farting person sign.
He's a fan of fart jokes, I guess, but we'll have to find
A man
out.
of distinguished taste, Bolt.
That's right. I'm a big fan of Bolt Prime. Such a cool guy. So there's MVP's getting his wall going. Probably going to put down a Cybercore, get the wall finished with the Zealot. Gas going up for Bung Bung Prime.
Yep.
I would guess he was probably going to go for the speedling opening. I would be pretty shocked if he did anything else.
Yeah, I mean, he's gone for the gas before pool. That's almost always an indication of the speedlings. The reason being, if you make that gas first, then you put 3 drones on it when it completes, then you get exactly enough gas to start your metabolic speed boost.
Yeah.
Research when your pool finishes.
Keeps
so
you
it's
safe.
perfectly timed. And then, oftentimes, they'll even take those drones off of gas, put them back on minerals so they can get their economy going back again.
Yeah.
It's
Now,
very strong Brood War-esque build.
I gotta say, I really like what MVP's doing right now, and I'm curious about that placement there. I think you can still wall that off with 1 Zealot, but
Yeah.
I like his pylon placement quite a bit. I mean, Tails, he's one of the few players that really pays attention, it seems like, to where he puts every single thing. Now, that wall off, though, it looks a little bit shady, but it is a wall off. He's going to be able to put his Zealot right next to that gateway and block it off. Now,
Oh, yeah.
in the meantime, it looks like Bung Bung has gotten enough gas. He's getting his speed going, and he's pulled guys off gas. Very common thing to do. He's probably going to expand after this, I would imagine.
Definitely.
Producing a couple Zerglings to get a little bit of early map control. All in all, playing very safe so far.
Yep, making only 4 Zerglings and a Queen, and transitioning back into drones. A very smart thing to do. Get those early speedlings out, and they're good. You know, you have a few Zerglings on the map. You can pick off probes that are scouting. You can take control of the towers. You can try and harass the front and see if you can see what their army composition is. But then you start getting drones again, so that you can make sure to get your economy going. What's going on?
I'm kind of curious if Tails is going to go 1 gate expand. He's already put a pylon down on the low ground in a place that kind of suggests that. But then again, a lot of Protoss players do that just to make them think that they're going to expand. Although he is stockpiling minerals right now.
Well, he has... I don't know. He's mining off 2 gas. And so it's going to take a while for him to get those minerals if he's just going to mine off 2 gas.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's going to be a pretty quick Nexus, though. But
yeah, and there goes the probe. I think you're right.
Yeah, so a bit of a bold opening from Tails. The Nexus does go down. That Zergling still chasing that probe around the map. Another one coming in to do some harassment. Bung Bung does know about the Nexus now.
Yeah, now here's the thing. That was actually really gutsy by Tails. He has no idea what opening is being done by his opponent, Bung Bung. He has no idea. He hasn't even scouted his base yet. He doesn't even know what position he's spawning in.
Wow. Oh, and a fast third from Bung Bung. I love it. He sees that his opponent's not going to be able to put any pressure on him for a good long time, so he goes in and takes another hatchery.
Nice move.
This is already shaping up to be a very interesting ZVP.
Yeah. It's a little bit dangerous. At that point, when you see that,
Stargate
as a Zerg player, you say to yourself, all right, you've got 2 options. Either out-expand them and go for the econ game, or bust them. And that's why I was saying it was dangerous for Tails to do that, because if it had been a speedling bust, there's no way he would have held it with like 1 sentry.
Well, if he had been playing against someone like, say, July Zerg possibly, or Lysira, you know, they probably would have gone for some sort of 2-base all-in. The Roachling all-in right now is very strong against Protoss. We've seen a lot of players do it. But Bung Bung showing us something different. He is getting that Stargate, though. And that could be a little bit difficult to defend, especially now that Bung Bung is getting a Roach Warren.
Yeah, and he's only got the 2 queens. He's not making a 3rd queen right now because he's focusing on droning up to get that 3rd base going.
Oh, and it is going to be a Void Ray for Tails as well. That is exactly what Bung Bung does not need.
Yeah,
he's not producing any extra queens right now because he has no idea.
If he's just producing drones and that Roach Warren, if he makes a Phoenix to follow and rallies that Phoenix to follow that Void Ray, then he could just take out those 2 queens and pretty much win.
Yeah, now I was going to say, sometimes this is okay, you know, if you are a Zerg player and you're going for that Zergling Roach, you know, all in basically, even if they do get like a Void Ray out, a lot of times you can just kill them, you know? But where he expanded so quickly, now he's going to be at the mercy of that Void Ray. His hatchery did finish. He's making 2 more queens now, so he does know about it.
He sees it now.
But is it going to be too late? I think the queens are going to be out in time.
No. Well, one spawned at his 3rd, and they're not connected by creep, so that one is pretty much useless. Actually, yeah, it is useless. The Phoenix is going to follow up, and that 3rd base is probably just going to go down outright because there's that queen
running away.
Running, if that's what you can even call it. 2nd queen coming in to try and help out. Is it going to get there in time, though? It can hit the Phoenix, but that 1st queen is probably going to go down unless he gets transfused off.
Oh, wow, he doesn't kill the queen. Transfuse.
Wow.
Now, actually, Bong Bong did something very smart there. He moved the queen. What looked like he was running away was actually getting it closer to the other 2 queens. Very smart.
Yeah, actually, that was pretty smart.
Yeah, getting a couple Spore Crawlers now. That's going to help. And it looks like he is getting a lair as well. His main base, I believe.
That was really well played by Bong Bong.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried about him.
I was pretty worried for him there, but he got those queens over to his 3rd just in time.
And another Nexus goes down for Tails. So Tails expanding as well, getting his Robo Bay up.
And those Phoenixes doing some harassment, some nice control by Bong Bong. He actually transfused that Overlord to save his life.
Now, as a Protoss player, one thing you can kind of do by putting pressure on the Zerg with air like this is prevent him from injecting larvas regularly. And that does cut down on the amount of drones that could be produced. It cuts down on the amount of offensive units that can be produced. So it is a benefit of doing that. Oh, one Phoenix.
Harassment.
Whoa, he almost lost the Phoenix there. That was very, very close.
Phoenix is at 9 hit points.
Yep.
And look at that wall off. That is just beautiful.
Walling off with 3 gateways. Getting a forge as well. Actually, Tails doing a lot of things that we don't see a lot of Protoss players do. I mean, you don't usually see a wall off like that at the 3rd with gateways. Definitely new. I could see it working, so it's very, very cool to see that.
I've seen that before a little bit. It's not on this map because of this oftentimes. We're asking a little bit more drones. If he loses the Phoenix, it'll be bad.
Yeah.
And he is barely going to get away with recharge the shields on those Phoenixes, so he's going to be okay.
Now, now, Bong Bong has a lot more workers than Tails does. He's got about 20 more at the moment.
Yes. Yeah, he's got 73 drones to 58 probes.
Yep.
But he's still going to be okay. He's actually continuing to make probes off of all 3 Nexuses. So
and that drone's not going to make a hatchery.
No.
Nope.
And that's exactly what you want to do. Obviously, the Void Ray can't do a ton of damage right now. It spots those Hydras, by the way. So you can just use it to pick off Overlords, pick off the towers, get map control, stop 4th bases. But here's the thing. Bong Bong decided to go for Hydralisks, and knowing that's probably what he would do, we saw Tails actually go straight for Colossus. So he's just countering what he's expecting to be. Oh, this Void Ray might go down.
Look out, Void Ray. That Void Ray is going to be toast. There it goes, and a 4th base going down for Bong Bong. And yeah, but like you said, if Bong Bong does indeed go Speedling Hydra majority, he's making a couple roaches, but not a lot. Now he's starting to make more. But it is very susceptible to the Colossus. Even if he does go Roach Hydra, Void Ray Colossus does very, very well against that.
And now, actually, he's made 11 Hydras, so he has some control, and he's switching over to getting a Spire and lots of Roaches, as well as the Pathogen Glands, which is the energy upgrade for the Infestors. So a very smart move by him, not going too heavy on those Hydralisks, switching back out of them to something that's going to be more effective against the Robotech. But look at this! Tails getting his Twilight Council down, so he might switch tech also.
Yeah, exactly. Spire going up as well. So here's the thing, not a lot of Zerg players would want to play a long macro game against Protoss, just because in the late game, the Protoss army does tend to be very, very strong against a lot of Zerg compositions. Looks like Bong Bong will scout something, but pretty much scouting things he already knew. Now, here's the thing, Bong Bong is ahead in supply by over 20 right now. He does have some Overlords there. They're probably going to be just soaking damage, I would imagine.
Yeah, now, critically, he actually did not see the Robotics Bay, and he also did not see the Twilight Council.
Yeah, he may also use those overloads for a creep highway too as well.
So he didn't get as much scouting as he wanted there, didn't see the crucial buildings. But Blink is going to be complete, as well as a third Colossus before there's a battle. So I think it's going to go pretty well.
Well,
pretty well for Tails.
7 Corruptors on the way for Bong Bong, so if there's anything that could get him back in the game, Blink is being researched as well. And I really think that's the big danger for PvZ in the late game, is that you can take out the Colossi, you can handle the sentries, but those Blink Stalkers are really hard to kill off with all the micro. Here comes Tails, though.
Yeah, and he needs to get this done now because Bong Bong just got his 4th and 5th up, so he needs to engage and stop those from getting out. And actually at the left side of the map, he's taking out that base, and coming in from the side is Bong Bong. Nice force fields, keeping the whole army back, but the Corruptors doing massive damage to those Colossi, making sure they can't do as much as possible. And it looks like too many Zerg units are going to swarm into the sides and take out the last Colossus. Are the gateway units going to be enough to hold this, though?
Yeah, we'll find out. It all depends on Blink Micro right now. Moving all the overloads over that so that he can't blink his Stalkers, I think. Wow. Oh, I think that's actually what he's doing. He's trying to cover the Stalkers so they're harder to click on. That, if he's actually doing that.
Really clever.
Yeah, that's a very clever move. I don't think it's actually working, though. Although he is forcing Tails backwards, but...
Yeah, it was just too many reinforcements there, closer to Bong Bong's base, so he could just get in there with all of his reinforcements very quickly. Yep. And crucially, he had a couple Phoenixes chilling over on the side of the map doing nothing during that battle. That battle was very close. You know, if he'd had a few Phoenixes to distract the Corruptors long enough, might have changed things.
Yeah, gold being taken right now by Tails. And, you know, I just want to go back and talk a little bit about the idea of trying to prevent Blink Micro by moving your overlords over the units.
Yeah, that's kind of a cool idea.
It's, well, it's a little bit dangerous in that you could lose some overlords, but at the same time, if you have all your Stalkers hotkeyed, of course you can just bring them up and click on them down at the bottom of the screen as well. Yeah. But it may be, you know, a little bit more difficult.
No, in that kind of a situation, the overlords are so cheap. It's better for them to waste their shots on overlords than to kill your roaches. And he's coming out here with another 7 Corruptors. I like that. Actually, it's more than that, but might be too many. But he just has so many roaches underneath. Actually, Bong Bong is maxed, and Tails has only built up 120 supply right now. Getting pushed back into his natural expansion. This could be the end for Tails. Our new hero could be flipped back over, and he's fighting for his life with these Stalkers.
Yeah, there's just too much. It's going to be very, very difficult now for Tails to be able to beat this army. It's going to require excellent Blink Micro, but the Stalkers continue to get weaker and weaker. Pylons being focused on by a couple of those roaches, powering 1 gateway. Well, we're going to find out. Broodlords, or actually, no, those are Overseers being morphed in right now, watching out for DGs.
Wow, Manor Overseers, ladies and gentlemen. He is still maxed to Tails' 100 army. The Manor Overseers all warp in and drop mass changelings. And that is... that is awesome.
What?
Mass changelings going in.
Oh, distracting the probes in the base with the changelings, I think? I don't know, but that's interesting. In the meantime, though, Tails pushing back the army of Bong Bong. He used a lot of resources to get all those Overseers. That may not have been the best decision.
It actually doesn't matter at this point. He's got so much income and money right now.
Yeah, he's maxed out again.
He's constantly maxed, able to fight back these Stalkers. He critically doesn't have enough drones to really support all of his bases, but doesn't matter. He's just got so much control. He's going to take out this gold. The Stalkers are just like trying to tickle those roaches while they take out the Nexus.
Yeah, a lot of Corruptors getting their corruption spell down on those Stalkers, blinking in to try to take some things out. But are the roaches dead or not? It's so hard to see from underneath there. I can tell there's still some roaches. Okay, now he is moving out. All the roaches did die. So somehow, some way, Tails coming out on top a little bit, but here comes a huge group of roaches.
Yeah, now here's the thing. He did, even though those Corruptors were overhead the whole time, they didn't get taken out eventually. I mean, he didn't have a reason to focus them. So those 9 Corruptors, in about 1 minute, are going to be 9 Broodlords.
Yeah. Now, this is such a crazy ZVP right now. I mean, just the things that Bong Bong is doing, putting down even more changelings, going mass changeling apparently. We're real zealots.
It's actually kind of an annoying thing to do. You put changelings on their ramp and they can't come down the ramp sometimes.
Yeah, possibly.
Confuse things. Now look at this, +3. That
All right. Well, I mean, here's
that
the
immortal.
thing, is that it does throw your opponent off when things like that happen. They kind of, it uses up brain cycles, basically.
Yeah. And the
All
other
right.
thing, oh, and here it comes in. Actually, he probably shouldn't be sending those corruptors in like that. He might have wanted to wait for the Broodlords, but he is going to get a little damage done and pull out, and that is actually a pretty sizable army. That is a really, really ridiculous army that MVP Tails has. Those 3 Immortals would do so much damage against those roaches.
Tails
but
is
there's
catching
the
up,
9
too.
Broodlords morphing in.
Yeah. That could be pretty tough to deal with. We're going to find out the +3 missile attacks on the way. I believe that's +3 weapons for Protoss as well being made.
I think it's 2. No, it is 3. You're right.
Is Tails going to attack before the Broodlords spawn? Too late. They're here.
They are here. He's bringing in queens to transfuse the Broodlords.
Oh, this is so
All
smart.
5 of his queens in the battle as well.
Bonbon
Broodlings
moving in
raining
right now.
down.
Mortal splitting up the roaches. Stalkers blinking and focusing down the Broodlords faster than they can be transfused, but is it going to work? Oh, wow!
So many
Transfusing the
transfuses
Broodlords.
going off, keeping those Broodlords alive so
can't
the
believe
roaches can clean up the Stalkers. And now the
Wow.
Broodlings giving chase to those 4 Immortals who could probably take on those roaches by themselves with so much support.
Look at
with
that.
the queens and everything, I have a feeling Tails is going to be eliminated very shortly.
Well, Tails was pretty far behind already. He made a good show of it, but there it is.
Coming
GG.
from Tails.
Wow, look at that.
Wow.
Showing us something new.
Yeah.
Zerg
Man.
fans, be excited because TVP, we've been keeping watch these last couple weeks. It's been changing. As Bonbon got the win for Prime. Prime is back in it again. It is 1-1 here in our match between MVP as Prime versus Prime rather. And wow, what more can you really say about that game?
That was fat. That was crazy. That was really fun game. I loved watching that. The macro play, building up that death ball, and the pretty nice counter there. And I like that. Whether it was intentional or not, it must have been really difficult for the Blink Micro, those Stalkers,
Yeah, honestly,
with all those Overlords on top.
It does make a difference.
And
I mean,
even if that wasn't an effect, he had the creep there because of the Overlords as well, so his units could move around a little bit faster. That's always an advantage too.
now,
But that was really clever, and he just came out ahead, and he's like, all right, well, now I've got 5 bases, and you've got 3, so
yeah. Now I
gonna
do
overpower
know
you.
I do know some Protoss players that do their Blink Micro by hotkeying their Stalkers and hit the hotkey,
can
find
do
the
that as
Stalkers
well.
that are low life and try to blink them back. I prefer to actually click on the Stalkers myself. So if there are a ton of Overlords just floating over your Stalkers, it would make it tough. But yeah, very interesting ideas. The mass changelings, just kind of
The
kind
Manor
of
changelings.
like calling down mules if you're Terran
yeah,
player.
exactly.
And he was so far ahead at that point. You know, nothing wrong with that too.
Yeah. Anyway, after we introduce the players, we're going to go into a player video,
Yep.
show you a little bit more about the players.
That's right.
So we're going to introduce, I believe, first the next player that
Yeah, we got to find
MVP
out.
is going to send out.
We're going to see very
And-
soon who it's going to be.
They are discussing it right now.
Oh, we're actually going to have a 2-minute break right now, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back. GSL Team League with Doe and Moltrap after the players.
No,
Never mind.
okay. Okay, so players.
The magic voice in my ear is confusing
That's
me,
right.
Moltrap.
That's okay. We're going to introduce the players.
All right.
Let me see if I got this straight. Then we're going to have a break, and then we're going to have a player video, and then we're going to rock on with some action with StarCraft 2.
No, then we're going to have a 2-minute break. Then we're going to rock on with some action
No,
with
no, the
StarCraft
break
2.
is between.
No, it's...
Just wait and find out. It's going to be such a wonderful
Yeah, that's
surprise.
right. The tension is rising.
See what
What's going to
happens.
happen next in the Team League? We're about to find out right now. GSL Team League with Doe and Moltrap.
Yep.
It's a memorable experience. All right, we're going to see who Prime's going to send out next. I'm going to guess Violet. And is that
And I
Violet?
believe that's Noblesse.
Oh, that's Noblesse.
Noblesse.
Okay, you're right. All right.
Yes, indeed, Mr. Noblesse coming off the bench. Very strong Terran player. Well, I shouldn't say very strong.
Didn't
but
make it out of Code A, but showed some potential for sure. Yeah. And there's Bong Bong. Showed us a great game last time, but what does he have versus Guinea Pig? Oh, it's actually Guinea Pig.
I don't think that's Guinea Pig.
Oh,
That,
we'll find out.
okay, we'll find out in a moment.
Could be anyone, really.
Yeah, that's Noblesse.
All right.
Okay. There we go.
It is Noblesse.
I was like, that's not guinea pig.
It's like a changeling. Made us think he was
He's
guinea
not
pig.
furry enough
Right.
or
Be like
small enough.
Scampering over to the booth on all
Kind of a
fours.
small guy.
Hops up and puts on the headset.
Startail Bomber just walked in the house, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. It is officially on.
He's gonna have to wait his turn like everybody else is waiting.
Yeah.
Right. And so, Noblesse. Show us some stuff. So the question is, what does Bong Bong have versus a Terran player? We're gonna find out. MVP versus Prime at the GSL Team League. See you in a bit.